Hey, it's Brad, Jack of all Ventures, and I want to give an update on what is going on with my weekly plan that I've made on Monday. It is now Friday, happens to be my anniversary today. 14 years ago today, I made the biggest mistake in my life, biggest legal mistake of my life. I am in very deep hot water solely because I fell in love and got married. Don't do it. Anyone thinking about it, don't do it without a prenup. I mean, I am all for the concept of marriage. It's a wonderful idea. It's a wonderful concept for lifelong partners, and it helps you get through the good times and the bad, and sees it through. However, what the legal profession has done to it has completely ruined it, the whole intent. James Sexton does a really good job of kind of explaining, you know what the purpose of a cup is. It's to hold the water. I mean, it's really hard to hold in your hands, so the purpose of a cup is to hold the water so you can drink it. The purpose of marriage is to, in my mind, I mean, everyone probably can come up with their own conclusion, but for me, it's to create a stable bond to build a family from, and so somebody can't easily walk out. Well, according to the Divorce Court movie, in 1969, then Governor Ronald Reagan of California signed the first no-fault divorce into law, and then that started legal corporations figuring out how they can make money with divorce and creating a business out of it. And that's where things went way, way wrong. And I would have never have known 2 years ago. You would have asked me. It's kind of interesting where I was at 2 years ago around now. I actually made my first, I guess I'm going to tangent onto that for a minute. This is tangent alert. This is a big one. There's a book called A Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. It's a horrible, horrible book. It's fortunately fiction, and anybody that sides with the protagonist in that book should go and seek mental counseling in a hurry. Anyways, my wife wanted me to read that book, and I was reading that book about 2 years ago now, and I made my first monetized video, my first video after getting monetized about that book, which is really an unusual reason to make your first video. Fortunately, they never made a movie of that book. It gives me some faith in society that the pendulum is swinging back, but I'm not going to say any more about it. You can watch. I'll throw in a link, so you can check out that video if you're interested in the book, and you should read it and think about the philosophical stuff going on in that book, even though it's fiction, and the fact that society even tolerates it and has a little bit of following. Google the reviews on the book. That's what really sickens me, anyways. Anyways, now I got to remember where I tangented off. Mostly about marriage and where the marriage laws have gone wrong. And there's no point to marriage anymore. All it is a financial arrangement where you split up your money when you break up. And if one partner is significantly better off than the other one, that creates a natural tendency to create business for lawyers, because it's really easy to pick the one that's on the lower end of the financial spectrum and then encourage her to fight the other one that has more money and then, or financial resources, or however you want to call it, has worked hard all their life and saved up for retirement, and now they can lose it, type of thing. And then the legal system provides that imbalance so that one person can be guaranteed a win and the other one has to hire somebody to defend. And if that wasn't true, and both parties had to go in with a fair fight, and you could say, well, she left me, and so she doesn't deserve what I worked hard all my life for, and that could be a factor into the court case, into the lawyers fighting, then it would be a little bit less likely or significantly less likely that people would contest a divorce. They would just say, okay, I'll be fair. He had all this when he got married and I had this, and, we can come up with something and amongst ourselves, and we wouldn't need lawyers to help us fight for as much as we can get. But if you create a natural imbalance and create a natural reason to fight, and the lawyers have done this and created this in the legal system, and I never would have believed this 2 years ago. That's where I tangented off, because 2 years ago, if you would have told me that, I never would have believed it. And wow, I would never believe there would have been people supporting, Geneva Rose's protagonist in that book, A Perfect Marriage. I mean, that just blows my mind. I mean, when you get to the end and you find out what really happens. And by the way, she's also really not a great author, because to get the twist at the end, she had to lie about events that never really happened. And so if you think you're tricked and you're like, wow, that's a twist, never thought that was what it was going to be. It's, if you look back at it, she lies during the context of the book, and those events, if those events happened, she couldn't, the ending couldn't have happened. So there's another little thing. Could probably ruin the book for you, telling you that. But I don't know. So the update on my whole situation is, I really wanted to go see my wife, try to rekindle. It's, I guess, with a lot of thought put into it. I wasn't doing it because of her financial legally having me over a barrel. I mean, I really did. I mean, the first 10 years of our marriage were great. I loved her. And if we could possibly get back to where we were, I would definitely want to stay married to her. She can be a wonderful person. I think she's been corrupted by greed. And, yesterday was just another indication of that to me. So it didn't go well. The night before, she found out, because I got the Tesla and she got the Tesla app, and I'm not like going to be secretive and block her. So she still was able to see wherever my car was. So she found out I was coming to see her, and she told me she didn't want me to come, but I thought I sensed in her voice that she still kind of maybe did, and I still think she would actually like to have the relationship we had back. Problem is, over the course of time, and she is financially motivated to leave me, as opposed to financially motivated to try to stay. That's that whole legal problem again. And that's why I'm even more bitter about it, because it really messes with the dynamic of power in a relationship. And not that there should be power games going on in a relationship, but both people that sign up for a marriage should be encouraged to stay in the marriage equally. They should have equal encouragement to stay in the marriage with the marriage. To me, a rightful marriage law should naturally do that. And like I just got done explaining why it's not that way, in my opinion. The marriage laws don't do that, and they incentivize her and encourage her. Actually, if somebody said they were going to pay you thousands of dollars to get divorced, it would be harder for you to stay married. I'm saying a good woman or a good man, doesn't matter, male or female. A good spouse should still want to stay with their partner, even if they would monetarily gain. But as the relationships get more ambivalent, you can be more easily persuaded with money to leave a okay marriage. And I mean, that's, so it just creates a very lopsided incentive. I mean, I know I feel like I'm going in circles to hammer down the point, and that point is hurting me really bad right now, so I apologize. I mean, it's like, I think if she didn't have that incentive, she would want to see me. I guarantee you, if the incentive was flip-flopped and I was the one that could benefit financially from the divorce, not that I would be like, if I wanted the divorce and I could financially benefit as well, I'd be like, no, you keep what's yours. I'm sorry, I don't love you anymore, and I'm going to go about my way. I don't need anything from you. That's what good people do. I mean, but however, you know, the lawyers, which before yesterday and Monday, from my video Monday, you should be able to tell that I thought the lawyer was a bigger problem. I still don't know. And that's fine. So what happened yesterday, she could see I was still coming, even though she told me not to come. So she called her lawyer, and then her lawyer gave me a courtesy call, and to let me know that she didn't want me to come. And he told me his recommendation to her was that she couldn't stop me from coming, and if I did come, she felt threatened, she would be within her rights to call the cops to ask them. I mean, she should tell me to leave the property, and if I didn't leave, then she could. I don't know if he even told me that. That'd be something. I mean, that's the way it should go in my mind, anyways. If I came, I should be allowed to knock on a door, because anyone's allowed to knock on people's door. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't want the salesman knocking on our doors, but I'm pretty sure they can't be arrested just for doing that. And then you ask them to leave, and then if they don't leave, then you can call the cops. I mean, seems like the natural order of the way it would go. And he nicely let me know that, that's what he advised her. And I was like, all right. So, I mean, I kind of figured that. Thank you for letting me know. And it gave me a chance to ask him a couple questions. And I asked him if he was the one to initiate I'm in contempt of court right now, I guess, or they filed charges, and I got to go to court to see if I am in contempt of court for not having an appraiser come out to appraise all my personal possessions, so she can supposedly get half of that or something. I don't know. But after, I'm maybe making this a little bit too long with too much detail, but I did get mediation after I fired my lawyer. So that's be for like another episode of maybe how to beat the system. Because I mean, if you hire a lawyer, you're to defend yourself. You're just going to feed the machine, and they're not going to try to help you. And hopefully, I can go to an ethics committee or whatever and file a complaint about the representation I got from both the lawyers I've fired. But probably not. I mean, the law allows them to do a lot of misconduct for society, and because they're an organization that polices themselves. Anyways, I got to ask him a couple questions, and he said that Heather contacted him and encouraged him to file those charges. So I got to ask that question, and I asked asked him if he knew why she was in fear of me coming to see her, because I got no threatening stuff. And if you watch my video from Monday, I came one other time, and I kind of got the whole thing that, oh, we're scared, and I turned around and came straight home. And then another time I went to see her, and she let me in, and we hung out for a day. So I mean, I got history of going to see her and getting a positive response as well. So I've definitely had the mixed signals to go into this. He said that he didn't know why she would be scared, and I was like, did you ask her? And he's like, no, I didn't. And then he's like, well, I wouldn't tell you anyways. Like that clicked in that he shouldn't be having discussion on that. But she has no reason to be scared. It's like if you're a meat eater, you don't want to, and I'm probably gonna piss a bunch of people off with this, but oh well. If you're a meat eater, you don't want to go sit there in the slaughterhouse and watch the cows get slaughtered. You want to just eat the meat and close your eyes to what you're doing. And I think she just wants the money, and she wants the close their eyes to the pain it's causing the person she's extorting the money from legally, or fighting for it. And we'll see what happens. I have some hope that there might be some ways to get through that side of it and not take a big punishment there. But I mean, the easiest way, by far the easiest way, and this is my message for anybody that's getting divorced that actually had an okay marriage and you want to part as friends, just figure it out. You don't need the lawyers, because the lawyers want you to fight, and they're going to encourage the fight. And it's like, the better sell, if you like your car salesman, it doesn't mean he's not trying to get the most money he possibly can out of you for that car. It just means he's better at doing it. And he's got you fooled. Not always, but a lot of times. And I think back to the conversation I just had with her lawyer, and at first I was like, wow, this guy's pretty good. He's a nice guy. He's not really out to get me. And honestly, I think there might be some truth to that anyways, and that's another long story, which maybe be a good separate video at some point too. We went to our first hearing, and Heather and I both discussed after the hearing that we thought our opponent's lawyer was more on our side. Like, my lawyer was helping Heather more and her lawyer was helping me more. So maybe I actually do like John. We'll see. See how it plays out. I've got reason to be skeptical, that's all. My gut feeling actually is that he's a reasonable guy, but we'll see. Like I said, what else should we talk about, Noodle? I think that's the main thing. The other half of that equation from Monday is Tesla and my troubles with Tesla. And I was hoping, if I would have actually got to see Heather, maybe, I don't know. I can't do the same old thing that's been happening and expect the same result. I was ready to try to change up my ways, and I was actually fully committed to trying to reconcile if she wanted to do it. I didn't want to be as ambivalent as I have in the past, which is, part of the reason why maybe I understand why she left. Other than the financial motivations, because there are reasons, and nobody's perfect. But the Tesla thing, I basically went in there with a much better argument. With the same strategy, just delivering it much better, and I got the same result. Although I did get a phone call back to tell me the same result. They clearly replaced a bunch of parts on my car that were fine, because they were trying to diagnose a problem by switching out parts. And they continued to say those parts were defective, even though the car still malfunctioned after I got it back. And a new key fob completely fixed my problem. And I got plenty of videos on that already. If you're interested in that story, I'll throw some links in the description on that. But yeah, I'm going to have another episode or whatever this about my divorce experience. A second hearing where we actually got to meet the judge. The judge told us how we could possibly get locked out of our Teslas. This is important for my divorce, is to have she's talking to a kind of a self-confessed Tesla expert from just having a car for six years. I know a lot about the Teslas. I've been locked out of my Tesla when the 12-volt, locked in my Tesla when the 12-volt battery went dead. So it's just kind of a weird coincidence. I doubt she knows that, and I got YouTube videos prior to her telling me this to prove it. And she told us about the story that's going on, that we got to be careful that we can be locked in our Tesla, or you can accidentally lock your kids in a Tesla. I don't know what the exact story was, and I think it came out of the National Enquirer, because in that moment I was very interested in whatever prompted her to tell us this, because Heather and I both drive Teslas, and to me it's just more evidence that, you know, they're all colleagues, they all hang out together, they socialize together, and they chat, they gossip about you, and then they got all kinds of control over your life. And I mean, to me that's no business. A judge should have no professional business telling us that. Why we're in the most stress of our lives, standing there in court trying. And another thing she did say too is that there's enough finances in this case to warrant extra time, which I found that pretty appalling as well. All right, I'm going to close this out. I babbled on for a long time, 20-some minutes, and I want to try really hard to enjoy my anniversary by myself with Schnoodle. Schnoodle, can you see Schnoodle? And then Chloe's back there somewhere too. You know, she's not even interested in seeing them. She could have at least been nice to me and, you know, let me drop the dogs off for a little while, because supposedly she misses them so bad. But yeah, that's all part of the story. If I ever make a real story of this, lots of fun stuff that goes on with divorce and failing marriages. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sure she did want to see you. She just wants to see me less. All right, out for now.